Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you one little bit of the project that I'm working on, and it's installing the seat bracket. What it takes to remove the seat bracket I need to install from my donor metal. This is a seat bracket out of an 01 XJ. These are all the same from 95 to 01, and because I'm doing the newer interior install in the Comanche project, I need this bit of metal. The carpet actually sits up and over this, and the front of the seat holds to this bracket up here with these threaded holes. So anybody that's familiar with the 95 and up Cherokees knows that the seat's changed a little bit and they use this style of bracket. So one little thing to be done, I need to cut this off and get it welded into the Jeep. This is the passenger side bracket. It's a little bit wider, and I have here the driver's side bracket. As you can see, it's a little narrower because of the transmission tunnel and clearance for the transfer case over here. So both of these I need to cut out, and then I'll weld them into the Comanche. Now, to show you how we do that today, we're going to do some typical kind of body working tools. If you ever do unibody repair or anything like that, you'll use these similar tools. So what I have is a Sharpie. I'm going to use this to mark the center of my spot welds. I've got center punch, so I'm going to come through and give it a nice little divot. And I have this fancy little tool here. This is a spot weld cutter. As you can see, it's got some teeth on it, and I've already used this one end, so that one end's pretty dull, but it's got some teeth on it, and it's got a spring-loaded center point, so I can push into my metal with it. And so what I'm going to do is use the center punch there to give it a nice hole to ride into, and then I'll put this on the drill and I'll drill it out. So what I've done is come in here. You see I've marked that spot weld with my Sharpie right in the dead center. Helps me visualize it. You can see I've done another one over here, and I do have some more hiding out. So, here's another spot weld. I'm going to have spot welds all along in here and here, and including some on this back side where it got a little rusty when it was sitting out in the weather that are going to be hard to spot. But I need to go through and mark each one of those with my Sharpie so I know where the center is. I'm going to come through with the punch here and my trusty hammer and just give it a good whack. And that'll get me a starting point for holding in the spot weld cutter. Now, some of you may have tried this in the past or maybe thinking about it. Here's this nice big drill bit. You see it's about the size of the spot weld. You can use this. If you do, I recommend you also center punch it to get it started. But this is a painful tool to use. It takes much longer and doesn't do it as nice and clean as using the spot weld cutter. You can get these spot weld cutters online. These days, Harbor Freight has them pretty cheap. I've bought them from Napa in the past before Harbor Freight had them in commonly. So they are around. They shouldn't be too hard to find, but it is a little bit of a specialty thing, so you might need to order it ahead of time for your project. So with that said, I'm going to get this set up and go around and start drilling these out, and I'll show you how that goes. I've got my center punch here and my hammer, and I've got a mark right here. Not all that's been marked, but I'll just go ahead and do one and get through it to show you how this works. So I'm going to hold that punch there, get to a place where it won't move. Yep, that looks like that'll do. I'm going to come in with the drill. Okay, and the funny thing about while you're doing this is you can usually kind of feel them let go. Not always, but sometimes. And so, see it cut out a nice little hole there. If you can see down the crack there, maybe too dark, you kind of let go. So now that that's freed up, I'll come in with the pry bar, and there, I felt it pop. That last little bit of it, you see there's plenty of movement. So that spot weld is out. So I just need to repeat that now with, at least a dozen more. can see another one here, another one here. So I'll get the light just right. Mark the center. Mark the center. I don't see any more until this one I already marked. Now this one's going to be tricky. This might have been a Friday build. That's not quite in the onto the whole flange there, so it'll overlap a little bit. I'll still mark the center. This one as well. Whoever's calibrating the robot didn't do a great job. It's off of it a little bit. And go over here. I got the light just right. I can see there's a center. There's a center. Now that I can't see right now because it's got some sealer on it. Same thing. There's going to be another one in there. I can't see there's a sealer on it. But luckily for me, if I flip it over, I can see exactly where they are. So I might drill these out from this side just because I can see it easily. Let's see. This is all pretty rusty. I'm probably going to have to wire wheel that to be able to see where the spot welds are. I can see that there's one in here. And there's that center. Again, I'll come to this end. This side's much easier. Not all the sealer in the way, but still a little tricky to view it. And it's right there. That one's right there. Oh, it doesn't look like there's any other there, but I guess that's a little weld I'm going to have to cut out. And then this one has one there. So let me tap these and get these ground out, and I'll figure out what to do about this part. Cut all the way through that one. So I did more than I needed to. Let's see if I got that freed up. Now what? Looks like there's another one hiding right there. So I got a little dust popped out there right at the end, and that's free now. But it's not quite free. There's probably a little sloppiness in the weld right here. So it's not, when the spot weld pinchers came down, they might have been offset a little bit, which means I can be cutting through in one spot, but I'm not getting all the weld. So we keep going, and sometimes you just got to come through and kind of chisel a little bit. Alright, I heard that one pop loose. Well, there we go. Hey, that whole section came out now. It's feeling pretty deep, but I haven't felt it pop yet. And there it went. Cool. Yeah, it looks like the weld penetrated a little further over this way. There we go. Alright. 7 down. These will be difficult. Let's see how this works out. as you can see, that is almost apart. But I got this guy holding me in. These couple little ones right in here. So I'm going to get the grinder with the cutoff wheel and just cut right on this side of it and leave behind the weld. There we go, ripped right through those. So, that's what's left of an XJ4. It was the frame rail there. So, hey, one down.